Street Fighter 6, the complete story.
Final round. Fight!
Bosch wants strength because Yua is not safe. Before the story starts, Ryu has already beaten Bison and broken Shadaloo. That ends the Empire, but not the people and systems it damaged. Juri is left with revenge that has nowhere to land. Ed gathers abandoned test subjects under Neo Shadaloo so they will not be dragged back into the labs that made them. Bosch is a buckler security trainee in Metro City, and he hates feeling weak. Yua is his younger sister, and he wants to keep stronger people from choosing her life. If he fails, they lose more than money or a place to sleep. They lose the chance to stay brother and sister, living free of Shadaloo's shadow. Luke is a former soldier who trains young fighters, and he wants his students to find their own path. The Avatar is Luke's new student, and Bosch sees them as the rival he has to beat. He even tries to cheap shot them before their first real fight. The Avatar beats him clean. Luke tells the Avatar to leave Buckler Security and build their own story. Bosch stays restless. He cannot accept Luke's slow answer to strength. Nayshall is a young country trying to look strong through the new Suvalhal tournament. JP is the polished patron behind that new order. Amnesia is the covert terror arm spreading fear in Nayshall, and Terra Network Partners is the respectable public front that launders JP's influence through aid and investment. Bison once gave him psycho power, and now he rules with money, fake stories, and pressure. Ken is a famous fighter who helped fund Nayshall. At JP's press event there, Amnesia hijacks the feed with doctored footage that brands Ken a terrorist. Then, a drone bombing rips through a market, and JP leaves just enough doubt around the attack to let that lie harden. Luke goes after Ken because Mel matters to him, and he would rather bring the father in himself than let that hunt crash into the sun.
USA.
Guile and Li-Fen later helped prove the footage was fake. But by then, JP has wrapped Ken in panic and headlines with just enough confusion to make everyone believe it. Bosch sees exactly what kind of man now stands over Nayshall. If JP can do that to Ken, then he can do it to anyone. Bosch stops being restless and starts hunting strength like his life depends on it. Bosch goes back to Nayshall while the Avatar keeps growing. One of them is learning what strength means. The other is trying to outrun fear. He still crosses paths with the Avatar, but the rivalry is different now. Winning would not fix anything. Yua is still trapped in a country where men like JP can bend the truth, buy the law, and call it peace. The fight Bosch cares about is no longer the one in front of him. The Avatar finally sees Yua, and Bosch's panic starts to make sense. She is not the reason he wants power. She is the reason he thinks he has no time to grow the right way. JP's grip keeps getting clearer. Amnesia's terror, Terra Network Partners, and Ken's fall all point back to him. Bosch watches one man turn a whole nation's fear
and a prize. And people swarm in like moths to a flame.
Cammy's hunt for Shadaloo remnants points there too, because the psycho power around JP feels too familiar to be an accident. That is when he decides JP has to be hit, not exposed. But Bosch never gets to choose the terms for long. The people who seize him come out of the same shattered experiment network Ed has been raiding to rescue old test subjects. Ed calls his refuge Neo Shadaloo because he wants to save the abandoned, not rule them. But other remnants kept Bison's methods alive after the Empire fell. They force psycho power into Bosch's body, the same dark force Bison used to break people. His scars light up purple. His mind starts slipping. He ends up hidden behind a mask as the cardboard combatant, more weapon than brother. The power he chased is now inside him, and it is eating the part of him that chose it. The Avatar keeps pushing forward. Bosch keeps falling deeper. He still points himself at JP because rage is easier than admitting he is losing control. He learns Terra Network Partners is moving the money and cover that keep Amnesia armed and JP untouchable. That gives him one last plan. He builds a bomb into the Suvalhal championship belt. He means to put that belt on JP and turn the symbol of Nayshall's new future into the thing that kills him. The final night puts everything in one place. JP stands at the center of the tournament like he owns the country. Yua is close enough to die from Bosch's answer. Bosch made the mistake himself. He chased power like it could protect Yua, and then he used that same logic when he turned the belt into a bomb. For 1 second, it looks like he has finally found a way to turn stolen strength back into protection. Then Yua is pulled into the danger he created. Bosch tears off the mask and takes the bomb belt onto himself so she can live. The explosion kills him. Yua survives. Bosch does not. The one thing he wanted most is gone for good.
Something different from you.
You'll see everything.
After that, the Avatar fights JP and beats him. It does not undo anything. Bosch is still dead. Ken's public stain is still there. JP's system of money, lies, terror, and psycho power is still alive. Ed keeps pulling survivors away from the labs that survived Shadaloo. Cammy keeps chasing the remnants that still answer to that power. Yua gets to keep living. She does not get to keep her brother. Juri does not get closure either because Bison later returns in a new body and drags Shadaloo's original threat back into the world. That is the tragedy at the center of Street Fighter VI. Bosch spent the whole story trying to get strong enough to save Yua. In the end, the only thing he could still give her was his life.
Kids and everyone else.
And that is the story of Street Fighter VI. If you want the full breakdown, every detail, head to our Substack. Link in the description.